So for me, I had struggled with depression for so long. You know, I mean, crippling depression.
Can you imagine he had every room taped and bugged, and they found little bugs and little tape recorders? I mean, little those micro.
Their good friend who.
Bilal told me, Jada. He told me that you knew Will was f***ing your child. Yes, he did. Wonder why he left that out of his Tasha K interview.
Yeah, in that interview, he said a lot. He said a lot.
He said everything but the thing that was important. That he know that Will Smith, Jaden, he Meek Mills, and you know it, Bilal. Now I don't give no how far in the desert you run. You'll go from a Philly to a sand, they'll still get you.
He's Philly though, Jay. It's Philly.
You know, he Meek Milk. As far as I'm concerned, he Meek Milk. I ain't calling him Mill no more, that's milk. That's Meek Milk. Added to the honeycomb. You got a meal.
So you believe the Dwayne Martin story, that could happen?
Of course. Everybody know that shit. Everybody knew they was just ain't nobody know Dwayne was folding him over like that, taking him to Panatown. And all these black running around marrying these, sitting there convincing other women to go chase a fag. Go get you. Look at my isn't he? Can you imagine if he's told the truth? You stand on red carpets with the and you sell an image of lies. Then you influence the public and ask the public to covet and want your life. Who wants that? Who jealous of that? Bunch of whack too afraid to find a real man and real love. So you marry a faggot for a Birkin bag and then turn your head while he's f***ing a bunch of kids. I don't feel sorry for none of you. Don't y'all sit around writing your books, telling your sob story.
Federal agents in Kevlar vests streamed out of Sean Diddy Combs' Los Angeles mansion just before dawn on March 25, 2024, lugging hard drive towers, laptop bags, and a stack of locked Pelican cases. Inside the gated driveway, arc lights from Homeland Security trucks washed over the front facade, while paparazzi yelled for a reaction that never came. Neighbors whispered about sex trafficking warrants, but insiders fixated on something far more explosive. The drives were rumored to hold decades of private party footage, shot without the guests' knowledge. Who was on those files? Why did Diddy record everything? And could those clips pull Hollywood's brightest stars into a fallout they never saw coming? Hang on, because the deeper we dig, the darker it gets. But the first clue to this spiderweb of leverage starts long before the raid, back when a young music mogul learned the power of a well-placed camera. Sean Combs began the 90s as an ambitious intern at Uptown Records and closed the decade owning Bad Boy 2 clothing lines and a vodka deal. An empire later valued near $300 million, but money wasn't his only safety net. Former employees say that from the late 90s onward, every VIP room in a Combs-controlled property came with pinhole lenses in the smoke detectors and mics under the end tables. Those rumors moved from barbershop chatter to court testimony in February 2024, when producer Rodney Lil Rod Jones filed a racketeering suit claiming he cataloged hundreds of hours of graphic recordings for Combs. Lil Rod alleges the tapes captured drugs, L-aced cocktails, and encounters with guests who were absolutely unaware. Ex-bodyguard Gene Deal backed that up on VLAD TV, calling Diddy's archive worse than the Pentagon's. According to Deal, if the feds got those drives, you're gonna see celebs and elected officials begging to cut deals. Why record it at all? One former Bad Boy executive says Diddy treated taped dirt as an insurance policy. If anyone sued, leaked, or crossed him a simple text, "Remember the yacht in 17?" kept lips sealed. The executive insists that even staff NDAs referenced private media material as a reason to stay quiet. But the loudest alarm about Combs' hidden cameras didn't come from his employees. It came from an R&B singer who once toured with The Roots, and she named names nobody expected.
Yeah, and it was Jada Pinkett. But
You saying the whole party was weird. What did you see at the party that made it weird? I mean, I'm confused.
I guess it was Illuminati. It's just weird. I know I wouldn't want to be part of it like that. You know what I'm saying? You know, I'm from the old school, dude, and that shit wasn't really tolerated with my generation. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, hate crime, yes, but it's more tolerated these days and nothing like that. It's more, you know what I'm saying, more open now, you know what I'm saying? But back then it was kind of fishy, you know what I'm saying? Still kind of fishy, you know, but it's more, you know, out there now.
The incident y'all had with Warren G and Kid Frost. Tell me about that, my man.
Okay, Kid Frost had gave a party at the House of Blues. One of our big homeboys wanted to go with us, you know what I'm saying? So he went with us and we said, ooh, you got fun. So one of Kid Frost's homies, still on my big homie.
Jaguar Wright spent much of 2024 live streaming scorched earth stories about industry titans. In one viral December wrap-up, she said flat out that Diddy's late-night freak-offs featured Will Smith, Jada Meek Mill, and actor Dwayne Martin, adding, everybody knew Dwayne was folding. Will folks just didn't know Diddy filmed it. Skeptics pointed to Wright's past controversies, yet several details in her rant lineup with Lil Rod's federal complaint, secret cameras, LA's drinks, and underage attendees. Even more damning, she echoed Gene Deal's claim that politicians and preachers mixed with rappers at those parties. Wright's central message was simple. If those drives surfaced the red carpet image of America's favorite movie star could shatter overnight, and the internet pounced on one question. Why would Will Smith risk being anywhere near that scene? The answer, if you believe his ex-assistant was hidden in plain sight for years. In late 2023, an interview with brother Bilal, a former assistant to Will Smith, detonated across blogs. Bilal alleged he once walked into a dressing room and saw Smith bent over while actor Dwayne Martin stood behind him. Bilal claimed he kept quiet for a decade until Will's post-slap media tour made hypocrisy hurt. Smith's camp blasted the story as completely fabricated, and outlets from E! News to the Economic Times carried his denial. I don't have CS aught to do with Puffy Will, told a December 2024 crowd. Yet the timing couldn't be worse. Will's public image was already fragile after the 2022 Oscar slap, and Jada's Red Table Talk reveals about their marriage. Add Wright's claim that Diddy's got Will on film, and suddenly the Fresh Prince was trending on every gossip feed. Meanwhile, Will's children were fighting their own demons. Jaden spoke openly about depression and self-medicating with psychedelics, citing studies on plant medicine. Critics speculated that growing up amid Hollywood secrets added pressure he never chose. Still, why would Diddy safeguard such compromising content to find the motive? Follow the money and the lawsuits he kept dodging for 2 decades.
Jay's speaking on it right now. He'll be one of the first dudes that they'll probably pull to the side and say, yo, well, you say that your man, I heard you on TMZ say that he never did this and he never did that, but ain't this you? If those pictures or those films or anything like that exists. You know what I'm saying? That's what they pay those agents to do. So, of course, I don't believe that none of the people who are his celebrity friends is going to speak or say nothing until they're either contacted or they know what they really got.
So you feel like they might be worried that they might be on tape at one of Diddy parties doing something they wasn't supposed to be doing?
Lil Rob said in his affidavit that Diddy had every room taped and bugged. Diddy had, yo, bro, can you imagine he had every room taped and bugged, and they found little bugs and little tape recorders, little those micro projectors or whatever like that, or video cameras. They found them in the house, bro. So by them having those things in the house, and people know there's drugs, there's alcohol, there's loose women, there's loose men, woman on woman, man on man, all kind of crazy shit. Bruh, they just wondering who or when they're gonna let this stuff be known. But not only celebrities, I don't think it's only celebrities gonna be shook. He had politicians in there. He had princes in there. He also had a couple of preachers in there. Hallelujah. That's crazy.
You personally, you think they got tapes?
Well, my personal opinion that if Lil Rob could be trusted and his statement are true, they got him. They got tapes and stuff.
Combs' legal track record is a study in settlements, the infamous 1999 gun trial, acquitted, the 2009 assault suit, confidential payout, and the Cassie abuse lawsuit, settled in less than 24 hours in November 2023. Attorneys whisper that NDA-protected evidence files played a role in keeping those cases out of open court. Lil Rod's 2024 filing flips the script. He claims to possess copies of footage that proves Combs' crimes, effectively blackmailing the blackmailer. If true, that tortures Diddy's usual leverage game. Instead of one man holding the vault just became federal evidence. Sources close to Homeland Security investigations told ABC News that agents seized dozens of encrypted drives in the March 2024 raids, exactly the items Combs allegedly dangled over associates for years. But the vault may already have sprung leaks, because as soon as the raids went public, a torrent of fresh lawsuits hit the docket.
I love Justin Bieber, but that's just a fact.
I'm having a good time.
He's really just like a brother to me.
Yeah, these two go way back.
I think that it's cool to just collaborate with people who you know. I've gotten to a place where I have like a core group and people who are really supporting me and encouraging me. And I never had that before. You know, I never created those type of relationships. So now it feels like I have so much.
I honestly just love him and like what he's doing, like, and the amount of change he's been able to make in the world is just insane. Life is hard, you know, we all go through things, you know what I'm saying? But the difference between other people is that no one knows about it. You know what I'm saying? And it's really difficult for people like Justin, for me, for all types of people in the limelight.
Within 5 months of the raid, more than 70 plaintiffs ranging from ex-assistants to yacht staff filed civil actions citing sex trafficking or assault highlights. Cassie Nove, 2023, alleged beatings, RPE, and forced liaisons, settled overnight. Rodney Lil Rod Jones, Feb 2024, racketeering, forced sex work, hidden cameras. Kirk Burroughs suit, April 2024, 4. Claims of coerced favors for business introductions. Grace O'Marquet versus Christian Combs, filed April 5, 2024, alleges sexual assault on a Diddy-chartered yacht. Father aided and abetted. Combs' lawyers fought to dismiss on technicalities, winning small skirmishes, but losing the optics war. Judges tossed a Trafficking Victims Protection Act count against Combs Global, yet personal claims against Sean Combs stayed alive. Each filing re-upped the same fear. Hidden footage exists, and subpoenas could make it public. The panic wasn't limited to the Combs family. Several suits named high-profile guests who allegedly joined the same freak-offs, meaning the damage radius was about to widen.
Jaden Smith joins his mom, Jada Pinkett Smith, and grandma, Adrienne Banfeld Norris, on Red Table Talk. And they're talking magic mushrooms, people.
But since it's my mom, it's like, you know, it's my mom. We're working together.
On the latest episode of the Facebook Watch series, the fam talks about the plant medicine that some say is a miracle treatment for mental health. Something Jada says she can speak to from personal experience.
Unlike just going to therapy and putting people on Prozac, right? Which I did that too. Which that is not successful for so many people. And that's the thing. So for me, I had struggled with depression for so long. You know, I mean, crippling depression. So the thing about the plant medicine is that not only does it help you feel better, but it helps you solve the problems of how you got there in the first place.
As for Jaden, he says recent studies that touted mushrooms as one of the most significant advances in treating depression over more traditional antidepressants inspired his use of psychedelics.
Gene Deal swore that elected officials appeared at the parties. VLAD TV clips mention congressmen doing karaoke at 4 a.m. while lines of powder sat on tables. Though no politician has been formally charged, subpoenas for phone records landed on Capitol Hill in January 2025, according to a leaked clerk's log. Former gang figure Kefi D told Art of Dialogue that Combs's parties felt Illuminati-ish with rules everyone pretended not to see. His bigger point in the 90s, hip-hop would have shunned that scene. In the 2020s, it's front-row entertainment. Civil complaints now mention Cuba Gooding Jr., alleged groping, Odell Beckham Jr., unverified yacht appearance, a Grammy-winning pastor from Atlanta, name redacted pending investigation. PR teams are already drafting. I had no knowledge statements, but lawyers warn that if drives get decrypted, faces not just names could appear in discovery. With that sword dangling, Combs' legal chessboard narrowed to one choice fight: everything and hope nothing leaks.
But I want to go back to this lawsuit, right, by Cassie. She claims that, she hid out at a friend house in Florida after, Diddy put hands on her. And she said that she was tracked down by a guy named James Cruz, the president of Bad Boy Management. You know anything about that?
James Cruz and Hard Pierre always been Diddy's flunkies, especially Hard Pierre. That's why he's being sued right now too by one of his assistants and stuff like that, because I guess he learned from his boss. But James Cruz used to work for 50, but he worked for Diddy first. So them niggas was always scum buckets, man.
Right. But speaking of Harvey Pierre, how do you feel about him getting accused of sexual assault?
Like I said, anything that has to do with those sexual assaults, those people have to prove that. But are they capable? Yeah, they're capable. Look at the atmosphere. They in the music industry. They in the music business. They set up those type of they learn the tricks of the trade. For instance, guys don't put those pills that they get to the girls in the champagne bottles because they popping them in front of them. Most of those girls, especially if they like mixed drinks, you understand, they see the bottles when they open them, and they trying to keep their eyes on because they don't want to get no kind of drugs put in their system. But what they don't understand is in the orange juice and it's in the cranberry juice. They done put the pills and the stuff in there, the roofies, the X, all whatever they put it in the juice. Now, those girls who like the mixed drinks, you understand what I'm saying? They gonna pour their own back because they don't understand it ain't in the bottles, it's in the juice. Those guys, they learn that and they put it to those girls who don't know no better.
On May 2, 2025, Forbes reported that Diddy rejected a plea deal betting he can win at trial despite sex trafficking and racketeering counts that carry life sentences. Jury selection is scheduled for May 19, 2025 in Brooklyn Federal Court. Observers compare this to Weinstein 2017, but hip-hop's reckoning could hit harder. Black creators long complained. Mainstream media ignored abuses inside the genre. Now the floodlights are unavoidable. If the government introduces any party footage as exhibits, the public will see its first unfiltered look at Combs' alleged leverage machine. 3 outcomes loom. 1, plea and sealed evidence tapes stay buried, victims get compensated, but rumors rage forever. 2, full trial footage played in open court, triggering collateral prosecutions and a cultural meltdown. 3, case collapse, legal technicalities. Free Combs, yet his brand remains radioactive. A cautionary tale that power built on secrets can crumble overnight. Either way, fans face a haunting question. If the footage never leaks, will we still demand the truth? Or does silence keep our idols intact?
Right, I got you. But looking at this lawsuit, right, Little Rod, he alleges that, Diddy, he'll put his hands on him. But, when he'll put his hands on him, he'll disguise it as horseplay. But he felt like Diddy was trying to groom him, in a sense.
Well, with the horseplay situation, I used to see him do that with certain women. You understand? When he was mad, upset, or he was too old for this, but he would do that play fighting shit. You understand? So I can imagine him play fighting with Lil Rod. Because, a lot of people can say what they want to say about Diddy. He got a knuckle game. He will fight you. You know what I'm saying? You his size, you understand something like that? Around your size, something like that, he would fight you. He had a knuckle game. He wasn't that dude that, like, people try to say he was some old scared ass nigga. Nah, he would fight you. You understand? So I could see with a person like Lil Rod, he probably was roughing him up, grabbing him, groping him, you know what I'm saying? Acting like he playing with him, but he actually want him to do what he want him to do. So, like I said before, that he did in the past. So when I read it from Lil Rod, I see he's doing the same shit he's doing in the future. He used to play fight with the pillows, like the pillow fight, that dumb shit like that. That's kid shit to me. But if that's the way they do, that's the way they do. You understand? He used to do it with Kim all the time.
So the horseplay was his way of grooming you in a sense.
Well, that grooming, that's some new shit. You know what I'm saying? We didn't call it grooming back then. That his horseplay was a way of letting you know I could really hurt you if I wanted to. You get it? I could really hurt you. And that's what that kid probably felt. Yo, why he doing me like that? Oh, he just playing with you. No, he was letting you know, if I turn this up, I could really hurt you.
And that was his way of trying to get you to be submissive to him.
Right. He's letting you know, he's putting into your mind, listen here, bro. He's trying to put in his mind, we're playing now. But if I really want to turn this shit up on you, it's on. You ain't got no wins. So that kid is feeling, yo, listen here. In his mind, if you read the documents, in his mind, he was so scared that when he went to other people in the camp and said, why did he treat me? Why did he doing this and doing that? They said, oh, he just playing with you because he love you. He like you. He was, no, he was trying to instill that fear in you that he had in you.
Also, alleging that he met Cuban Gooding Jr. through Diddy on Diddy Yacht. And it even got to a point where he started touching him on his, upper inner thigh near his groin, according to him.
Did you see the picture?
Nah, I didn't get to see it, but
oh my God. Yo, listen to me, man. I don't know if it was what they call it when you take two pictures and they put it together, you stuff like that. What they call it when they put the pictures together and it don't belong together, but they put it together. Whatever.
Side by side.
Yeah, whatever they call that. Cuban Gooding Jr. was so close to that man. I would thought that was his lady. That's how close he was to him. And then his hands all on his leg and everything. It was crazy, bro. I don't even believe that. So when you see Cuban Gooding fighting a case here in New York, when he said the girl was saying that he was groping her and everything like that, I'm glad they didn't show that picture at his trial. Because he would have been guilty. That's how close he was to that kid, man.
So you seeing on pictures, do you believe his claims?
Yeah, I believe his claims. Somebody put something in Cuban Gooding Jr. ear that this was fresh meat or see can you break them, or see can you do something.
If you found this story eye-opening, remember history isn't written by the powerful. It's recorded by whoever hides the camera. Best stick around. The trial clock is ticking, and the next reveal could upend everything we think we know about fame, power, and the price of silence.